What's going on, everybody? It's your boy 11AUG23 Dfs here to bring you another WNBA slate breakdown for this 2-game WNBA slate. If you're new here and you're enjoying the content on the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss any of the uploads as we continue to expand with the stuff we're putting out on the channel. And make sure you drop a like if this video helps you in any way, shape, or form. Now, before I can even break down this slate right here, before I can even touch on the injury report or anything like that, I have to go back. I have to talk about yesterday's slate because, honestly, the past two slates for the WNBA, I don't normally talk negative about it. They have been trash. The consistency that we were having, for the most part, now, this has not been the most consistent season, especially from the coaches, their rotations, the standpoint, but we're going to go game by game real quick. So if you want to skip ahead and go ahead and get the breakdown, stuff like that, I say skip about 5 minutes into this video. But the first 5 minutes is going to be venting my frustration in regards to the inefficiency and the horrible play of several players in these teams. First off, the Minnesota Lynx. Your best player plays 25 minutes. She picked up 3 fouls. Went out there and shot 3 of 12. Didn't have nothing going in that first half. Honestly, Collier's worst game since she's been back all season. Coming back from the pregnancy, all that good stuff. Yeah, whatever. Horrible game. Trash. You lost to the Indiana Fever, the bottom team in the league. One of the worst team in the leagues. The team that gives up 84.3 points a game. You can't come out here and score over 80 points. It took y'all forever to get anything going out here. I understand. Fee, she didn't have it. Cool. Diamond Miller, mid-level game, wasn't there, didn't do much. You went away from McBride, who had it going, sat her on the bench way too long in the second quarter, and then didn't even go back to getting her some touches. She didn't get any more shots until the second half, the third quarter. Came back in garbage time, 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. That's the other thing. In the third quarter, you sat these starters for majority of the third quarter, going into the fourth, and then finally put them back in. When the game was actually the game was in reach. Well in reach. Ridiculous rotations, just piss poor. Now, I have some gripes with Erica Wheeler, simply just for the simple fact. Last time I played you went out there, you had 6 turnovers, couldn't do nothing, had 0 points, had 4 assists, 2 rebounds, something like that. Go out here and you drop 17 points, 10 assists. Okay, I get it, I understand. I did say you can attack the Minnesota Lynx with guards, but you didn't have to go out there and show out and show off. I am glad that Leah Boston, she is finally, she's rolling. She's back on track to what she was doing. Cool, kudos, good crap. And once again, aerial powers. Honestly, the Minnesota Lynx, if the GM wasn't the coach, I really just feel like sometimes they're just tanking for no reason, because this game would really help solidify their playoff push that they are actually trying to make, which I would think that they're trying to make as a fan watching this. Now going over to the Atlanta Dream taking on the Storm. They had this game in the bag. They legit had this game. And as you can see, when you look right here, they had the game in the bag. The fourth quarter, they went out there and did nothing. Nothing. They let them drop 21 points on them in the fourth quarter. They had this game. So sad. So sad to see what happened in this one right here. Ryan went out there. She had a decent game. Gray, she did her thing, but no help from no one else. Coffee looked like she was going to actually have a good game. Same thing for Cheyenne Parker. She was rebounding. She had some blocks. She had some shots going. Then it was nothing. Considering the fact that the Storm, they're rallying for the fact of, hey, we don't have Gabby Williams out here with us no more. Now we got to figure out what the heck we're doing. Okay, cool. Sammy, she stepped up. Lloyd, she went out there. She did her thing. Lloyd didn't even have to go off and shoot and blow you out the water like she normally would. Easy, that's a great game. That's good. We was on easy. I'm glad about that. But they literally ran an 8-woman rotation, and y'all just couldn't put anything together. The inconsistency is horrible. How the heck do you go from Cheyenne Parker, literally your third best scorer, sometimes your second, goes out there and just gives us 6 points? That is trash. That is trash and unacceptable. Last but not least, the Phoenix Mercury and the Connecticut Sun. This one right here, I can't fully blame the Sun because DeWanna Bonner ended up leaving the game 2 minutes in because of her back. All right, she's had back issues in the past. I get it. AT stepped up in a major way, goes out there, does what AT does, 20 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists. Boom, I can't complain about that. Tiffany Hayes, she does something. 15 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. All right, that's what's up. Rebecca Allen, 24 points, 2 rebounds. I can't complain. Heidemann, 19 minutes, 0 of 8. What is going on? Freaking Dejanay Carrington, she was out there, she was playing, boom, gets hit in the face. She done. She doesn't even come back and get to go back out there and play. I can't blame the Sun for this one. I will admit that. Phoenix Mercury, they have been on a roll. They've been playing much better. DT, she's been doing her thing. Brittany Griner, finally, of course, when you don't play Brittany Griner goes out there and has a freaking amazing game. 21 points, 10 rebounds, and actually plays a BG-type game that we have been wanting and expecting all season. That's my frustration. Yeah, your boy has lost money back-to-back slates on the WNBA. Being very honest about that. But if you guys listen to some of the breakdown and stuff that I talk about, I do talk about the GPP options and stuff like that anyway. And if you avoid some of the landmines, you should still be able to make some money. And nonetheless, that's what we are here to do on today's slate. 2-gamer, really small. But we're going to break it down and see what we can get out of these 2 games. First game on the slate that we have the Chicago Sky taking on New York Liberty. No injury news for either one of these teams right now, unless something pops up later on in the day. If they do, go ahead and at me. But we should not see anything. For the Washington Mystics, everybody's still out. So, of course, we already know they are shorthanded going up against Las Vegas Aces in another game that, once again, will more than likely be a blowout from the Aces. They should go in here. Well, technically, the Mystics are coming to their house. So, they should get dominated once again. And I would not be surprised if Washington loses at double digits. Cloud, she has not been playing well at all. Sykes, she's doing everything that she can. Inefficient on some days, really good other days. SWK, you get what you get from her. Not really too much. Tina Hawkins doing what she can do out there. Mi Shines Allen, Queen off the bench. Mi Ling, all of them. It's not really enough. This team is not putting fear in my heart whenever they step onto the court. And the Aces, they know that. We're going to see more than likely 25 minutes for most of the starters. Got to figure out which one of these guards is going to go out there and play 30, 35 minutes on tonight. More than likely between Jackie Young and Kelsey Plum. That's more likely going to be the story that we're going to be looking at in the Aces game right there. All right, going over to DraftKings, the site that I play the most on, the site that has been somewhat good to me throughout the season. I'm not going to lie, has not been great these past 2 days. DraftKings has gotten a lot of the money back from me that I have won. Well, not a lot of their money back, but, they've gotten some of their money back nonetheless. Looking at the Chicago Sky, we already know where we start when we're looking at them. Kalia Copper, since the All-Star break, I've said it time in, time out already, but she has been on a roll and she is scoring like a woman on a mission. I honestly don't know what's gotten into her, but we're not going to complain about it. She has dropped 20 points in 4 straight games, and that should continue right here because we know where we attack the Las Vegas Aces, and that is with any of the guards playing on the opposing team. Now, in the 2 games that they have already played going up against the New York Liberty, Copper went off in both of those games. She dropped 20 in both games, 20 and 27 points in those games prior. Let me see if that game looks in here. New York Liberty, yeah, boom, back-to-back games, 33 minutes and 35 minutes. She dropped 35 and 41 fantasy points. Definitely a play that we can go to. They are going to New York's house today, and we already seen that she can play here. She is going to draw that Laney matchup, but as you've seen, she already made Laney some barbecue chicken and went up there and sauced her up and got what she got, and she did her thing. Now, if you don't want to play Kalia Copper, definitely, of course, again, we attack New York with opposing guards. We can look at Maria Marbury, who hopefully will be able to have her shot. She didn't do too bad in the 2 games that they played, dropping at least 30 and 26 fantasy points in those games. And then the last but not least would be Courtney Williams. Of course, I kind of would lean Courtney Williams over Maria Marbury just because Marbury is very much scoring dependent, but we do know that Courtney Williams can go out there, she can rebound, she can assist, and she doesn't do too bad on the defensive end. And I would imagine that Courtney Williams will get that Vantage Loop defense, and we already know if you get that Vantage Loop defense, that's the one that you want to attack. So I'm going to be going with Courtney Williams here in the spot. I really do believe that she can go out here and have a decent game. In 34 minutes, she dropped 24 points. 35 minutes, she dropped 32.75. So definitely either one of those would be great. Elena Smith, Dana Evans, Elizabeth Williams, looking at all of them. Elizabeth Williams, she didn't do too bad in the matchup going up against them. Now, I generally do not normally target centers going into the spot, but it's a 2-game slate, so we got to kind of plant a flag somewhere. GPP option, as you can see, she had 24 and 32 fantasy points in those games. Again, I don't normally attack using centers going up against the spot, so this is definitely a GPP play for her. Then Elena Smith going out there trying to guard Brianna Stewart, literally the best player in the league. I don't see how this is going to end too well for her. Granted, she did drop 33 and 21 fantasy points in those games, but again, I don't see how this ends too well for Elena Smith, who is very foul prone. She did get there in these games, one pretty much based off of her scoring. The second one, she stuffed the stat sheet kind of in a little bit of a major way. But outside that, definitely a GPP option. I will look really heavily towards the guards in this game. And then if you want that value off the bench, definitely look at Parks, Birch. Those would be your 2 backups that we could possibly see come out here and play some minutes for the Sky. And just remember that Herbert, she will be back for this game. She was suspended for the last game, so maybe we might not see it extended at least for Birch in this one. But Parks, she did play pretty significant in the second game that they played going up against New York Liberty. She went out there 5 minutes in the first one, 20 minutes in the second one, and dropped 20.25 fantasy points. Her leash has somewhat been there over these last couple games, so definitely consideration that we can look at in this one right here. Going over to the New York Liberty side, as we already know, literally, of course, we're going to start with Brianna Stewart. Do I pay up for Brianna Stewart? She's sitting at 11K. I see no reason for us not to pay up for Brianna Stewart in this matchup. She did not do bad at all, especially priced at 11K going up against the Chicago Sky early in the season. In those games, 37 and 33 minutes, dropped 40 plus in both of those. That pretty much is the floor safety that we can go to Brianna Stewart. I see no reason not to go here today. Now, Sabrina Ionescu, that's one that I really do have some interest in, considering that she's coming off a really great game going up against the Aces last time. 32 minutes, dropped 31 points, 52.25 fantasy points. And you already know that she is going to get those peripherals when it comes down to the rebound and getting the assist and things like that. Playing against the Chicago Sky, she did struggle. She only had 18.25 and 21 fantasy points. I'm going to count that as an outlier just because she is on a roll. Over her last 5 games, she has literally over 30 fantasy points in 4 out of those 5, with that one down game coming up against the Sparks. Now, she has not played since the 6th, so she's coming off of what? Almost 5 days of rest. I definitely feel like the New York Liberty, they've had plenty of time to go ahead and just do what they do. I have no problem going to Sabrina Ionescu or Brianna Stewart on the slate. And then, of course, as always, if you don't feel like paying up for Stewie, you could definitely come down here and go to Jonquel Jones. That has kind of been the formula over the last couple of slates because Jones has been putting up close to enough of the same fantasy points as Brianna Stewart, getting those 40 plus in these last 2 matchups that we have taken her, going up against the Minnesota Lynx and the Las Vegas Aces in that game going up against the Sparks. So definitely a spot that we can come and pay down to Jonquel Jones if you're not going to pay up for Brianna Stewart. Looking at it, going up against the Sky, 19 and 21 minutes. This, of course, is when those minutes were down and they were not the full range of minutes that she's been getting right now. So take that into consideration. And then Courtney Vandersloot, if you're not going to play Sabrina Ionescu, you already know you can come down and salute. Laney, this is definitely a spot where she possibly could get those peripherals, get those steals and things like that. Playing against the Sky earlier, she dropped 26 and 11.25 fantasy points. Definitely a GPP option. Might not pay up that high. Really going to look more towards my studs in this matchup because the Sky, they've been playing very well. And I do like what they've been putting up and doing out there on the court. All right, going over to the Washington Mystics side. Before I even get to them, if you guys are new, make sure you guys do hit that subscribe button. Drop a like if this video is helping you in any way, shape, or form. Make sure you guys check out the Patreon. I am dropping my player pools, my cores, not only for the WNBA. More than likely not going to be able to get an NFL video out today simply because it is quite late and I don't have all the news that I would like to drop in order to cover everything for the NFL. So I will have my player pool and my core up on site for you guys to check that out. And if you guys are looking for that, it's only $10. Check the link down in the description below so you guys can get that right there. Going over to the Washington Mystics taking on the Aces. Like we said, we already know they ain't got nobody. And I know that's almost like a double negative or some bad grammar, but they ain't got nobody. Sykes, Cloud, Hawkins, Misha, Walker, Queen, Lee. That's pretty much it. That is all their rotation is going to be. I am very timid to play anyone from the Washington side simply because I do truly expect this game to blow out. Like when you look at it, looking at the game total, it's a 169.5 total with the 18-point spread for the Aces. This game should blow out. I know we're not in the department to go ahead and determine blowouts and things like that, but I'm just reading the tea leaves and what is being presented to us. If you're looking at anybody from the Washington Mystics, of course, you're going to look at the main starters, the guys who should go out there and actually give us some decent production. Cloud, she's had a decent history going up against the Aces throughout her 2022 career. She dropped 39 fantasy points in back-to-back games going up against them last season. And then Brittany Sykes, she didn't do too bad herself, mixing pot of production, but considering the fact that she has such a high usage right now, especially in a game that they are expected to lose, they are going to be leaning on these guys right here between her and Cloud to go out there and try to do something. You could pay up for Sykes right there at that 9K if you don't feel like paying out for the Cloud matchup at 8-2. This could be the matchup that Cloud goes out there and just surprises us and actually has a really decent game. The one I would have some interest in is going to be Tina Hawkins and Queen Egbo, just because we have seen that centers have had great games going up against the Aces, even though they are a good team in their own right. But Centers, they're able to get their rebounds, they're able to get their putbacks, things like that. I know Tina Hawkins is a smaller center than the normal average size center that's out there, like a McCowan, a Jonko Jones, or Brittany Griner, things like that. But still, I cannot ignore the DVP in regards to the fact that centers have been smashing the spot. Now, if she's able to get her shot to fall and actually get the touches in this matchup, get her rebounds and actually get some steals and blocks like she, well, steals because she really doesn't get too many blocks, then definitely I could see this being a spot that we might want to be on Tina Hawkins. And then if you're expecting it to blow out, I don't mind going to Queen Egbo. She should get the blowout run if that does happen right there. You can take a GPP stab at Walker or Hines Allen just because Walker, she's so cheap. She's going to be out there. She plays practically 30-plus minutes every single game. It really doesn't matter, even if it's a blowout or not. She's going to be out there on the court, so that's some value right there if you're not trying to pay up for Sykes or for Cloud. And then Misha Hines Allen, they're probably going to need her size, but really don't see how she's going to go out there and be able to defend A'ja Wilson or anything like that. Dropped 28 fantasy points in that last matchup going up against the Phoenix Mercury, so definitely worth the stab right here nonetheless. Going over to the Aces side, as we always say, all starters are in play. Even Kia Stokes, this is a spot. Again, Kia Stokes is a bigger center than some of these smaller centers that are out there. And we do know, once again, could definitely take advantage of that, especially with a bigger center out there in herself. She should be able to possibly grab 10 rebounds in this matchup, definitely get some blocks, and if she can go ahead and score, get some putbacks and things like that, that'll definitely be a plus for her as well. Maybe we're looking at about a 20 to 25-ish fantasy point type game. If you give me a 32 fantasy point game, that'd be really great, but that was going up against the Sky, who she did have to play some extended run going up against. But if you're able to give me 10 rebounds, 2 blocks, maybe an assist or 2, and give me like 4 points, I will take that from Kia Stokes, especially at 4,900. That is definitely some value. Let's just pay up for maybe a Kelsey Plum, Jackie Young, and a Brianna Stewart or something like that on the slate. A'ja Wilson, there's no talking needed for that. You already know she's going to go out there and smash, at least give us about 35 to 45 plus fantasy points. She's been literally smashing it in her limited minutes that she is getting out there. No need to overthink it. Same thing for Chelsea Gray will probably be the oddball out just simply because the matchup going up against okay, I need that to stop. Thank you. The matchup going up against opposing the Washington Mystics, they are still pretty good at defending opposing guards, but she really just has not been getting there, especially just like the minute situation. I don't expect her to have to play 30 minutes in this game right here. And then, of course, Kelsey Plum, Jackie Young. Flip a coin. Of course, you guys know I'd rather go with Jackie just because she normally stuffs the stat sheet and she has that defensive upside because she can snag some steals. And then Kelsey Plum, she's playing at home. She gets hot. You already know it's going to be supernova. She goes out there. She's coming off a 41.75 fantasy point game. So maybe flip-flop, go with Jackie Young in this matchup instead. All right, guys, that is going to be the breakdown for today's slate. Hopefully, you guys cash out. We don't get railed again by the WNBA. I do want to see some green on the end of the night. Definitely check the Patreon and stuff for some prize pick plays. It is Flex Friday. And if you guys don't know, I literally explain this every single Flex Friday. Play $33.33 on that flex play that you're going to play, whether it be a 5 or 6 pick. Why am I going to do that? Well, simply because if you're going to do that, if you go 4 out of 6 or 3 out of 5, instead of getting back just the $20 that you played, you're also going to get back $13.33. So you're going to get your whole entry back that you will be putting in because they're paying you back in net loss. So technically, if I made $13.33 off of a $33.33 entry, my net loss of that is only $20. So you will get back the whole entry pretty much from just doing that. So remember that. Don't just do the $20 that they're telling you to play. It's a bigger bang for your buck if you play that $33.33. With that being said, it's your boy Zoe. I wish you guys the best of luck. See you in the green.